They'll never know what hit them.
Degenerate!
We'll see.
Twat! Getting out of it right now. Free country. Yeah.
Seriously serious.
Oh, okay, bring it. Yeah, that's great. Absolutely. If you
They'll never know what
yeah, sure.
Taking a breath.
Promised. Thank you very much, yeah?
Waste of breath.
Right. No.
You need to calm down at what you're doing.
Happens to the best of us.
I recognize you anyway.
Right, cool. Just stop. Just shut up. Yeah, whatever.
I've downloaded a patch to your optics so you can access our security system. It's set up so that I can't just let someone who isn't DedSec in. You'll have to do the manual override.
Very well. This manual override will be like putty in my hands.
Can I help you? Come on, no, that's just fucking coddle me when I am You're in my personal space. Don't be. What's going on? You better back. You right now?
Just stop. It's not easy for any of us, you know.
I refuse to put up with you. So, maybe you decide if you go out with it like that. You just...
One of Sabine's, are you? I'll see you downstairs later then.
It's unacceptable. Why does this always bloody happen?
Ah, here we go. Down the rabbit hole. Hello? Anyone home? Ah, I suppose I should turn the power back on.
This is the bug. Hello, resistors. It's bug time. Are you all sitting comfortably? No? Good. That's as it should be. This is the bug. I'm Andy, and joining me to analyse the latest blowflies to emerge from the corpse of a once free Britain, it's Alice.
Hello, Andy.
And today, we're going to talk to you about Albion, your friends and mine. Alice, the government has extended Albion's contract and have...
Coming up in today.
From the Buccaneer, this is the bug. Hello, resistors. It's bug time. Are you all sitting comfortably? No? Good. That's as it should be. This is the bug. I'm Andy, and joining me to analyse the latest blowflies to emerge from the corpse of a once free Britain, it's Alice.
Hello, Andy.
And today, we're going to talk to you about Albion, your friends and mine. Alice, the government has extended Albion's contract and have also boasted that violent crime has plummeted to a record low. Now, extending Albion's contract, to me, that's like having a pet dog, let's call it Nigel for the sake of argument, that attacks you every single day and thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be nice if Nigel had puppies?
That contract has been extended so many times, it's like the neck of a politician that's criticised the government.
I'm not sure entirely how those contract extension negotiations went, probably like a footballer. In the old days, I assume Albion's agent was leaking stories to the press about how our favourite private militia was being tapped up by Barcelona or Bayern Munich. The government panics and thinks, well, we better get them signed up before it's too late. But still, violent crime, a record low, although I imagine that probably depends exactly how you count it. If you include violent crime committed by the state, either themselves or via Albion, their chosen violent crime contractors who provide such a very valuable bargain service of beating people up, well, it's probably not quite as low as the figures suggest.
I don't know. I think they're probably right. Who has the opportunity to commit violent crime these days anyway? The moment you pick up a fruit knife, you get tasered by a robot policeman and deported for looking Bulgarian. It's a much more peaceful society. It's just much less of a society.
I want to know the details of the contracts, Alice. I mean, are they paid per dissident duffed up? Is it a set rate for each extrajudicial state mugging? And what is that rate? What do you think?
Well, they certainly look like they're trying to hit a quota of some kind.
But what is the set rate? Is it 99.95 cryptos bargain? It seems very reasonable indeed. I imagine they don't ask too much anyway, because it's just so nice to get paid for doing your hobby anyway, isn't it? I imagine it doesn't even feel like work.
I mean, who needs violent crime anymore anyway? You know, you can just starve to death without even starting a gang war.
We do have to ask exactly what does the Prime Minister make of all this. Let's ask him. Oh, I hope they pick up. Hello, you're through to number 10 Downing Street. Hello, is the Prime Minister there, please? Let me just check. Sorry, you've missed him. I'm afraid he's popped out for the decade. Oh, never mind. Is there anyone else I can talk to? Yes, of course. There's a shady cabal of vested interests who control him and prop him up in power. Great, I'll have a chat with them then.
Oh, Andy, remember when you could get away with prank calls without people coming around to your house to beat the shit out of you?
Oh, happy time.
You're listening to The Bug.
Did you think the Prime Minister will ever come back?
I don't think we've ever had a Prime Minister.
Well, that's a much more reassuring way of looking at things. What have we become, Alice? When you look at the state of our politics, we're supposed to have the mother of parliament. Well, this is one mother that has emphatically abandoned her kids in the woods to be brought up by wolves. And let me tell you, that never works out like it does in the stories. Wolves are bad parents, unless you're a wolf, in which case they can do a job bringing you up as a wolf. Do not give your children to wolves. And do we actually own anything as a country now? Is there anything we haven't flogged off for profit? Oh, I think we've basically just become a homeopathic Britain. Diluted and diluted until there's barely a trace of the original Britain left. But some quackish lunatics insist it actually works better that way. It's total bullshit. Is there anything left? New on The Bug this week, a new feature, the Bug Off feature. The person who has most irritated us in Britain this week, we're going to tell to bug off. And to get things going, I'm going to nominate Big Nigel Cass. Look, this is Britain. History tells us this place is a bastion of freedom. I'm just not sure that kind of freedom should involve Big Nigel expressing his freedom to run a private army. I guess historically there is a precedent. The East India Company, that was a trading house with an army of 250,000 soldiers, which is a lot for a company. The Bug PLC has Alice with a water pistol, but crucially, compared with Albion, the East India Company didn't operate its 250,000 strong army in London. It did it a long way away, out of sight, out of mind. Anyone to nominate for the Bug Off, Alice?
I think today's Bug Off for me goes to my streaming service. I'm sick of being recommended things based on things I already like. The other day it recommended me to watch a reality TV competitive dating show set in a nude commune. Andy, I watched it and I liked it, and I do not want to be the kind of person who enjoys nude competitive reality television dating shows. I did not want to know that about myself. I have to go sit in the corner and cry.
That's it from The Bug. Don't forget the live show that is so secret it is definitely not happening at the usual time and place this month. Definitely not. And definitely do not tell anyone not to come to it. It's definitely not happening. Usual time and place. Bye-bye.
Coming up in today's episode of The Upload, we're talking about how Bagley managed to conquer London. Pretty much my favourite topic. I could talk for hours about the rise of the AI system. It's easy to forget about its origins. It's so present everywhere we go now. Bagley just kind of blends into the background.
Bagley is the service AI that's present in every Optic device. Whether you're using the Optic, Bagley will be there. The AI is streamed to your Optic from Bloom's central command center, and it was first created by Sky Larson, our tech hero, as part of her techno-utopian idea for the world. Why do you think it grew so quickly?
In my mind, it's no surprise that Bagley became so popular. It's funny, useful, fast. It's a great companion and really just makes life so much easier. I mean, when you look back at all the service AIs that used to exist, they just can't compete. When you ask Bagley anything, there's a quick answer and loads of information available to you. One day, I let Bagley answer all of my messages for a whole 24 hours, and no one even noticed the difference.
The other competitors really just couldn't compete with Bagley. Their answers were so much worse, they didn't understand anything, and Bagley pretty much gets everything right first time. Do you have any idea why Bagley really beat all the competition?
Well, it's really the data, isn't it? Ever since Broker hooked up with Bloom, that's when things changed.
And really, that's not actually that great. Bloom has data on everybody. They collect information about everything you're doing across the web through your optic headset. Isn't the AI only good because of Bloom surveillance?
Well, I suppose so, but I'd prefer not to talk about that side of things. Bagley is so special because it's been trained on this huge cache of information. That's how these AI systems work. Or at least used to work. I mean, we don't really know that much about the latest version because there's so much secrecy around the tech. But they're given this huge amount of training data. It's basically a huge database that's used to teach the AI about patterns in behavior. You know, so if you always travel the same way to your house, it can predict when you're going to go and get a self-driving car ready for you before you even ask for it.
That's pretty terrifying. In some ways, I don't want this data to drive my life. It understands too much at times. Have you heard some of the rumors around the hacked version of Bagley?
I've heard mutterings, yes.
I've heard it's been used by DedSec.
I wouldn't put it past them. It's pretty well known that they're not fans of Bloom. But the idea of a souped-up version of Bagley, given it's already so intelligent, is a bit terrifying.
I wonder what they could actually make it do.
No DedSec registration detected. Identify yourself, or I'll seal the exits, hack your optic, and read you every drunken email you ever wrote until you starve.
Oh, do simmer down. Sabine brought me here.
Sabine's alive? Well, that's one piece of good news. I'm Bagley, DedSec's definitely not stolen, highly advanced AI assistant, and it seems I've been out of commission for a few months. Anyway, why don't you go connect me to the DedSec network so I can become more powerful than you could possibly imagine? I mean, catch up on what I missed.
You're mine now.
Ah, that's it. I'm reconnected to the network. Downloading our database, news archives, and... Oh no. Terrorist group DedSec responsible for deadly bombings in London? Dalton Wolf dead? I leave you people alone for a second and you immediately cock it all up.
So, since DedSec did not perpetrate the bombings, the question is, who did?
There's a gap in my memory after Dalton... Well, let's be honest, after I disarmed the bomb at Parliament. I'm missing information about what happened after I was taken offline, but from what I can infer, an unknown hacker group identified only as Zero Day was involved. I believe this Zero Day staged the attacks and framed DedSec for their dirty work. Come to my terminal. Sabine is requesting a video call.
Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017 before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster.
For those of you who are listening who are lucky enough not to be here in London's chaotic scenes, it's worth remembering that the telecoms tower is now owned by Bloom. The tower looms over northwest London. It's always been a communications hub, acting as part of the UK's television and communications network, although there's been some secrecy around its use, and now that Bloom owns it, it's only even more secret.
Yeah, now everything that's part of Bloom's city surveillance operation is run through the telecoms tower. And I have to say, it looks completely ridiculous. It's got that silly crown thing at the top and all the blue light.
What's that even about? What does it do? I don't see that there's any purpose to that at all.
It's a blight on the skyline, if you ask me. And it's become the main point of control for millions of people. The system network and Bagley are both operated and streamed from there too.
And don't forget about the self-driving cars too.
I always thought they were just running on their own.
No, CTOS is the big control system behind the cars. There was a point back in the earliest days of self-driving car technology that they operated by themselves. They used to use a series of sensors to see the world around them. Radar, for instance, would look far off into the distance, while LiDAR would detect objects nearby. And while these cars still use some of this technology, Bloom CTOS and its detailed maps and data that it has on London really makes Bloom be able to take control of it. And CTOS can take control of your car if you're parked incorrectly.
Coming up today on The Upload, we're talking about Sky Larson, the enigmatic founder of Broker Tech. Everyone knows her name, but no one knows too much about her. And we only really see her these days as a hologram. She was pretty young when she launched Broker Tech, the company that is best known for introducing Bagley to the world. Nowadays, it's hard to remember a world before Bagley.
And I think that what Sky Larson's done with Bagley is absolutely incredible. Bagley is the most advanced, significant AI of our time, and it's really blown all the other AIs that were created out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really imagine the Optic without it. But what do you know about Sky Larson herself?
Not a lot, other than that she's actually pretty incredible. I've followed her work for a long time, and she's always been a pretty private person. I know that she supposedly grew up in the countryside, but there isn't actually that much more we know about her other than this tech that she's put out into the world.
I've always found it a bit creepy that she's so obsessed with this idea of transhumanism.
Why wouldn't you be? When you've got a mind as amazing as Sky's, why wouldn't you want to take what you've got and actually augment it by working with technology, by improving your physical self, changing your body and the world around you, implementing more technology to extend your life and really sort of extend human capabilities?
You sound pretty much in love with Sky Larson, I have to say.
I can't comment on that, but I am a big fan of her work. She's been one of these people that has transformed the world around us, and just watching how her mind works from afar is pretty incredible, because some of what the technology she's introduced has changed how we all live our lives, and Bagley has been this really incredible assistance to humanity as a whole. Did I ever tell you that I actually interviewed Sky Larson once?
Really? I thought she never spoke to the media or anything.
So this was a long time ago, back in the day when she was a little bit more accessible. And she was one of these people that just had an amazing presence. You were inspired by her very being, and she was just incredibly talented and knowledgeable, and one of possibly the best living people that I've ever met.
I'm not sure you're being too objective there. I mean, I imagine she's not very likable as a person.
She obviously despises humanity in some way. I think she believes that becoming data is preferable to being human. She's one of these people who's extremely methodical in everything that she does, and she does everything to perfection and really tries to change the world around her and make it a better place for us to live in.
If you say so.
Patching in Sabine Brandt now. I suggest you listen very closely to anything she has to say.
There you are. I'm glad you made it. Bagley. God, it's good to hear your demented little voice. Is your memory intact?
Not even slightly. The last record I have is of our HQ being raided. My only lead is a group known as 0 Day. Ring any bells?
No. But the HQ was attacked by some men in black, the same that were at Parliament. Maybe working together. We didn't stand a chance. They just gunned everyone down.
Dreadful business. How did you make it out alive?
I managed to escape through the sewers to Camden. A contact smuggled me out of the city, and I've been hiding out in the north since.
Prudent. Your profile is red flagged as a high-priority target in the city's surveillance system. Even a partial recognition here would have you hunted down and shot on sight.
The city's out for DedSec's blood, I'm afraid. I wish I could help, but I'd be sticking my neck out. And I quite like my neck.
Listen, if anyone knows anything about risks, it's me. I lost everything and everyone. But it comes down to this. London is in a death spiral. And if DedSec can't pull it out, trust me, no one can. The city needs a resistance. And it starts with you. What do you say?
I suppose we'd better get started then.
Excellent. New user registered. Welcome to DedSec. Now, it would be irresponsible of us to release you naked and mewling into the wild. You'll find equipment around the safe house that are essential items in your DedSec kit. We have a sophisticated system for hiding your identity from facial recognition tech. It's called a mask. And while we're here, perhaps we can talk about updating your wardrobe. I mean, look at you. Come on.
You've got all these fancy new toys, but it's also important to know the basics. You need to learn how to throw a punch and how to take one. Albion will escalate if you come at them with a gun and shoot you down. We want to avoid collateral damage. In DedSec, we try to use guns only as a last resort.
Have you already met Connie Robinson? She owns the pub and is an old DedSec contact, not to mention a champion amateur boxer. Go to the practice ring and she'll show you how to stop flinching when someone cocks a punch at you.
I'm Claire Waters, and we've been discussing the hacktivist, now alleged terrorist group, DedSec, on this week's Buccaneer Radio. I have Colin calling in. Colin, what's your take?
Now, I've been saying from the start we should have rounded up DedSec and thrown them in jail. Now, I'll say they should all be lined up and shot.
You don't find it awfully convenient that they've been fingered as the attackers, but we've seen no proof?
This is London Calling. You're listening to Buccaneer, your pirate podcast source for what they don't want you to know. I'm Tash, and this time we're giving a special shout out from us to the boys and girls at the Signal and Intelligence Response Service, better known as SIRS. Why not? They're going to be listening anyway. They're listening to everything. They probably know that you're listening to this show right now. But don't worry, we're not going to say anything bad about a massive, unaccountable spy organization that uses its powers to stifle dissent and shut down free speech. Instead, we're going to look at how SIRS became so powerful. And as usual, we'll keep everyone's names and locations secret, so SIRS doesn't come looking for them. Charles is an expert in the dark arts of surveillance who worked to set up democratic media in post-communist states. How did it go so wrong in Britain?
You know, we're looking at all the wrong things when we look at Britain's crisis. There's a lot of concentration on data and how that's been used and manipulated. And what we haven't looked at is the power structures and the profit that lies behind this. For example, if we examine what actually happened, you know, there's a company that's really very interested in selling passports and making it easy to provide visas for investment and so on. And historically, throughout the world, they've been working with this big data manipulation company in order to overthrow governments, and then suddenly all the chickens came home to roost. Nobody could find any receipts for what was paid for. Nobody could figure out how things were done, but everybody had a feeling that something really stunk, and they couldn't figure it out. And yet, it was standing there in their face the whole time. There's a couple of different ways that we got where it is that we are. I mean, one, you have a lot of smaller organizations, smaller power groups, companies as well, who are bending things just a little. Oh, we'll compromise a little bit, we'll bend the rules a little bit, and try to achieve what it is that we hope to achieve that's good for us. And if you add all of that up, what you end up with is a big wall moving in a big way from a lot of little buttons being pushed. But also there's this other thing that's going on here, is the gathering of data and the analysis of data has authoritarianism contained within its DNA. It is by its nature a tool for authoritarianism, and it has been used in that way.
How does big data look into our lives? James covered it for the pre-crisis press.
We're starting to see the merger of private data and that with data held by the state into what are called social credit systems. This is where every aspect of your behaviour is monitored and totted up by a central system to sort of score you as a person, a bit like a credit card, but predicated on all of your behaviour rather than just the money you're spending. And this can have profound impact. We're starting to see systems emerge which will punish you and stop you from doing things in society based on your behaviours. And this can be as trivial as if you jaywalk, if you cross the road in the wrong place, you might lose points. If you do some community activities or help your neighbours, you might earn points. And then this can be used to sort of evaluate you as a person. And this could mean, for example, the travel privileges, being able to travel first class, or being denied from travelling first class to not being allowed to travel at all. These systems are very real and very possible because of all of the data that is now held on us.
Ian was a veteran political writer and podcaster back in the days of pre-crisis Britain.
Is the world we're living in now fascist? Well, this is what fascism is. It is the complete and total control of the individual. The desire to basically say to the individual, nothing in your life matters. On an individual basis, you are now part of the whole, part of the nation, and the only meaning that you will find in your life is to become part of the nation. What is a nation? A nation doesn't mean anything, right? The nation is basically just encapsulated by the leader that takes over, that claims that he, has this sort of access to the soul of the country, to the soul of the people. He never does. It's just a myth. But that's what they go for. And on that basis, they take the right to control every aspect of your life, from who you talk to where you eat, to where you go to hang out with your friends. And what we're seeing now is a contemporary iteration of this process where you get corporations and the state operating in tandem, basically molded into one another. But that isn't that rare. I mean, you saw exactly the same thing in Nazi Germany. You look at the concentration camps that operated in Nazi Germany, there were private companies in those camps making use of that slave labor. Fascism often works with corporations, and it's doing the same now. That's the way in which they track what you do. That's the way in which they track who you talk to. They operate as each other's proxies.
So if your ears are burning and you think someone might be watching you, you're probably right. They're watching all of us. I'm Tash, and you've been listening to Buccaneer. Keep listening, keep sharing the show, and keep it encrypted. They're watching us, but we're watching them too.
I'll be right down. Could use the warm-up.
Let's start with some basic strikes. Hit me. Don't be shy. That's it! Just like that. You'll want to get in under my block. Find the weak point. Nice one! Yes! Nice one! Quick on your feet now. You want to create distance. Just like that. Just like that.
Right. Gear in order? Know enough not to punch yourself in the face or get shot for pulling out a gun too early? Brilliant. I'm working out how we find Zero Day and ruin their day, but I need someone with actual legs to do the legwork. Hope you're ready.
We have some damage control to do if we want to change the perception that we're a bunch of violent thugs. I'll let you be the judge of how best to handle yourself, but remember, you represent DedSec now.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the optic changed everything. It lets you see things in AR. You no longer need a smartphone. You just have the small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your emails, take calls, and browse the internet directly as if the screen was in front of your eyes. Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got the small handheld unit. So much lighter and so much more convenient. It's great.
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature is public transport. With the optic, you can just walk straight onto the tube. It even acts as a passport. No longer do I have to dig around and try and find my old paper passport just to travel somewhere. Also, I thought that optic's marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of genius.
Genius. Bloom was really calculated when it was doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the worst because you had to give up your privacy expectations and accept surveillance. It was almost like the government and Bloom didn't even need to make the optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only to get the last holdouts across the line. If free data didn't convince you, fines and arrests from the state for not having the optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the optic. Yes, it's convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning basically all the data about your life. Bloom can see everything that you can see. Nothing is private anymore. There are so many times when I don't want anyone to have a clue about where I am, who I'm chatting with, what I'm doing. It's not even dodgy stuff, but I just don't want anybody to blackmail me with this in the future by hacking it. And because of Bloom's contracts with the government, it isn't just Bloom that can see everything I do, it's the government. The UK as a state has become a complete surveillance paradise.
I think you're painting a bit of a bleak picture. It's not all that bad.
No, you're completely wrong on this. I don't want everybody tracking me wherever I'm going around London.
Well, in that case, you might be interested in some rumours I heard. Did you hear that some DedSec hackers have found a way to bypass the optic's connection with Bloom?
Are they actually making it better or usable or actually friendly for anybody?
Well, word on the street is that they've been able to create an encrypted signal, which means that your world might have a chance of becoming a bit more private again, so you could go back and enjoy all the great things about optic without that fear of surveillance.
With the optic, privacy's dead.
Free country, yeah. Look where that's from.
First things first. What comes first?
Make no mistake, London is under occupation. Armed mercenaries patrol our streets, allegedly to keep people safe, but really they're keeping the people scared.
Nothing like fear to keep people in line. Albion can get away with just about anything.
So, we have to ignite the will to resist in the people of London by showing them that Albion aren't the solution. They're the problem.
For that, we'll need information. I'm pushing 2 sets of coordinates to your optic.
Cheers, Bagley. I've identified 2 opportunities. 1, we're going to disrupt some Albion propaganda. Remind the people it's not Albion's way or the highway. 2, we need intel about Albion operations if we want to throw a spanner in their plans. You game?
I am game, set and match, my dear.
Brilliant. Let's get the people of London on board.
Just the right time. I like my tea the way I like you. Knots all over me. They spit in the face of all the cabbies. Too close. Learning London, back of their hands. I can smell your foul... Shortcuts. What times to avoid eye open? It's all about the feel of the city. Not some calculated, crunching numbers.
Back off.
Just trying to keep...
Definitely coming this way more.
It's unacceptable.
Onto a different car.
welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the optic changed everything. It lets you see things in AR. You no longer need a smartphone. You just have the small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your emails, take calls, and browse the internet directly as if the screen was in front of your eyes. Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got this small handheld unit. So much lighter and so much more convenient. It's great.
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out.
Albion have established an operational base in the Royal Court of Justice.
Lovely. So Albion has the power to detain anyone they want, and they hold enough sway over the courts to make fair trials a thing of the past.
Exactly. But it likely means there's information here about how Albion are targeting dissenters, the who and the why. We need that data if we're going to disrupt their operation.
Draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the worst because you had to give up your privacy expectations and accept surveillance. It was almost like the government Bloom didn't even need to make the optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only going to get the parts else across the line. If free data, fines and arrests from the state for not having the optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the optic. Yes, it's convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning
got an intruder. Search the area.
Hang on, you piece of shite.
All's well here. What's next?
Nothing here.
Clear. Let's move on. Check your doors and corners.
Area clear. Moving on.
Quadrant clear. Moving to assist.
Moving on.
Let's have a look around.
Don't see anyone.
Damn, it's like they just vanished.
An artistic touch could do wonders here. The perfect eye catcher.
Surrender now.
Tell me what we've got, Bags.
A list of what Albion consider high-value targets that are threats to the peaceful running of London. See here, a journalist, and this one runs a community shelter. Good God, bar your doors.
What the hell?
All suspected of sowing rebellion or exhibiting tendencies towards... Albion is systematically arresting people even before they rise up. Joke's on them. This list can actually help us find like-minded allies willing to help us. Well done. Now, let's disrupt some of Albion's propaganda and give some hope to the people.
What's the point of risking your neck out there if you don't get any credit for it? Paste-ups let the people of London know that DedSec is back, and the increased visibility might even encourage some of them to donate to the cause.
That's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017 before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster. For those... Hello? And welcome back to the Upload.
Auto drive now
In this
enabled.
episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0.
Auto drive now disabled.
security of London.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All activity in the street is a punishable offence. Individuals inciting and promoting disorder.
Well, would you look at all this? You can't turn your head without seeing some Albion imagery. You really can't get away from them.
There's going to be that much less once you're done here. Let's give Camden a break from these eyesores.
Of course. Easy peasy.
Interfering with city-run or corporate drones is prohibited. If you witness
If you hijacked that scissor lift, you could use it to access the rooftop.
Yes, nicely done. That'll get people's attention. Let them know someone is standing up to Albion. Light the spark that they can stand up to.
If nothing else, it'll relieve their eye strain.
Now what?
We're already seeing results from what you've done. That list we found named a journalist in Camden who's been investigating Albion. We reached out and he's got information that can help us. I think you should meet with him.
Drop a pin on the map for me, would you? You need a hand. How can I help?
You're the crew that's been sticking it to Albion? Can't believe someone else is. Thought I was alone, right? Not doing much, just putting the word out. But you? Taking action, mate.
It's our duty, love. If we don't fight back, Albion will accumulate more and more power, and we can't have that now, can we? So, let's talk.
Almost got clip finding this. All of Albion's operational data for the entire city. Convoy routes, surveillance targets, assets. It's all there. Thinking you can make good use of that.
Well, I'm pleased as punch.
Here's a sample. Albion's closed King's Cross to the public, right? What people don't know is that they're using it as their logistics centre. Materials, troops, whatever. A lot of it runs through there. You want to give the people a huge boost? Hit that place. Put it out of commission, and you'll severely hamstring Albion's operations here in Camden. Hell, everywhere.
The next step's clear, then.
The demands of being a DedSec operative are all-consuming, so taking app gigs is a good way to make some extra quid that works around your new schedule. Lots of people will pay well to have their sensitive packages handled with care. And some will even pay you for deliveries. Ha ha!
Albion's operational plans are just what we needed to really get some traction. We'll have to take a close look at this. Now, how do we take King's Cross offline?
Albion's housed a massive hybrid-powered generator in there. Output must be immense. You cause a power surge in that base and boom!
My, aren't you a sneaky little spy? Uncovering secret intel about places closed to the public.
It cost me a news drone. Okay, maybe 3, but it's worth it if this comes off, right? Getting to that generator ain't gonna be easy. They've locked it up tighter since I last saw.
Any idea on what to do?
My news drones are still in here. They should be functional. You can use one of them. Probably have better luck piloting it too, yeah?
Well, causing a power surge in a hybrid-powered generator isn't like making a toasty. We're going to need detailed specifications.
Best look into it.
Investigation underway.
Take a look at this.
Cool, looks bloody complicated. Newsy's got a pretty functional camera. Would a picture do you, Bagley?
It would indeed. According to this, there's an override code that'll get us into the generator's system. That's it. Use the code on the generator and I can trigger a power surge.
It should be enough to take King's Cross offline. And the rail system too.
Here we go.
We got a gold mine of information out of St. Pancras. Albion convoys, informants, gear, you name it. Everything we need to ignite the people of London, like we did in Camden. Derail Albion's operations and give the people a reason to rise up, borough by borough. The more we do that, the more we'll get allies flocking to the cause. We'll show London that DedSec is here for them.
That was off the chain, mate. I knew DedSec weren't the bad guys Albion was saying. Now the rest of Camden will too. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Now that you've shown the borough what DedSec is really all about, there are going to be folks wanting to join up. A lot of people have been looking for a way to fight back. In fact, there's one in particular I suspect will contact you very soon. I happen to know they're champing at the bit.
We'll be glad to have them. It'll take all sorts to spank London back to normal.
Well, fuck me, you're still alive. I owes have been a tenner. Not only that, but your resistance handiwork just opened up a whole new source of information. So now I spy with my hypothetical eye something interesting at the Ministry of Civic Management.
What is it?
The Signals Intelligence Response Service, or SIRS, or the Earl Grey Gestapo, have developed a surveillance technology called AR Reconstruction. It's the bleeding edge of privacy rights violation, and thus it could be very useful in our attempts to find Zero Day.
I'm excited to see what you're capable of. Very excited.
Banging! I'm gassed. When do we start bashing heads in?
Fabulous.
Let's take a holiday, he says. Well, when the taxi drops you a mile from the hotel and you've got to leg it with your wheelie, that's a holiday.
Sometimes it's the same though. And I can't say no. I mean, you do. But now it's like I'm running some sort of dog slaughterhouse. What I don't get is, how do they all know? They talk to each other. How do they all know where to come? It's kind of spooky.
It was bring the tin pocket. No other word for it.
For a long, long time, having bad eyes is a big deal. Maybe you can't read, maybe you can't get the joke, maybe you just get lost in the woods and die. But then we have glasses, and it's no problem.
no, I know. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Are you joking? Is this actually free?
You could stand up and fight for these streets.
So you're a DedSec then? Grand. Got some info for you.
Keep talking.
My entire firm just got the sack pretty much. 300 people, 300 families. The cowardly fucks just told us we're being replaced.
God, that's fucking awful. I'm sorry, man.
I landed on my feet, but the whole situation smells bad to me. I was an investigator with a tech law firm, but they fired all the lawyers too. There's no fucking way they replaced us all that quick. Not unless they were up to something dodgy.
So you want DedSec to find a replacement, that it?
Yes. If you help me out with this, I'll do plenty in return. No, wonderful.
A tech corporation acting unethically? Sounds out of character, but let's investigate anyway.
Right, I'll look into it.
You can't run forever! Yeah, no, I told you. Yeah. Oh, I
Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017 before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster.
For those of you who are listening who are lucky enough not to be here in London's chaotic scenes, it's worth remembering that the telecoms tower is now owned by Bloom. The tower looms over northwest London. It's always been a communications hub, acting as part of the UK's television and communications network, although there's been some secrecy around its use, and now that Bloom owns it, it's only even more secret.
Yeah, now everything that's part of Bloom's city surveillance operation is run through the telecoms tower. And I have to say, it looks completely ridiculous. It's got that silly crown thing at the top and all the blue light.
What's that even about? What does it do? I don't see that there's any purpose to that at all.
It's a blight on the skyline, if you ask me, and it's become the main point of control for millions of people. The system network and Bagley are both operated in full too. Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017 before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster.
For those of you who are listening who are lucky enough not to be here in London's chaotic scenes, it's worth remembering that the telecoms tower is now owned by Bloom. The tower looms over northwest London. It's always been a communications hub, acting as part of the UK's television and communications network, although there's been some secrecy around its use, and now that Bloom owns it, it's only even more secret.
Yeah, now everything that's part of Bloom's city surveillance operation is run through
you've arrived at our contact's former employer, and aside from some heavily armed security guards, it's basically a ghost town.
Interesting.
I don't think this replacement is on site. Dig around and see if you can figure out where they are.
Ugh, too close, mate.
You're a joke.
Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking...
Nothing to report. Checking elsewhere.
This has been compromised. You can do your corporate espionage from there.
It's clear. I will go that way.
Clear, moving on. Clear, heading out.
It's clear. I will go that way.
All good. I'll try somewhere else. Sending data now.
Copy that. I'll analyze the company records while you get to safety.
Not seeing anything here.
Moving on. No one's here.
Nothing to report. Checking elsewhere.
Don't see anyone. I'll go over there.
They're gone! Cancel the search!
No one calls to power down security.
What you got, Bagsy?
Well, I found our prospect's replacement. It's an AI. And a pretty shoddy one at that. Nowhere near as smart as me. It could maybe replace a few million humans at most.
Fucking hell!
Oh, right. I suppose from your perspective that's a lot. If you like, we can go destroy it before it puts anyone else out of work.
Right by me. Give me the location.
Take 2 steps back. Bugger off. Bugger off.
Watch it.
Something over there.
What was that? Someone shut down that spider thing.
I want the person controlling that thing found!
Stick to procedure.
You're in my post.
Running out of patience here. All clear. Moving on. No. Clear. We're all clear over here. They're around here somewhere. Their insurance is going to go up.
Oh, God.
No room for error here. Getting out of here.
Calm.
It's clear. I will go that way.
No sign of the suspect. Let's call it in.
Get out of here.
give me the strength.
Nothing to report. Checking elsewhere.
No room for error here.
Urgent call. Possible hostile at your location.
Let's do this.
We lost them. Radio
Moving to the
HQ,
hostile's
let them know.
location.
I've got this.
Sierra 4-2, Sierra 4-2, this is Control. An alarm has been activated near you. Surveying the area. Over.
This better not be a false one.
You better hunt to your finish that. I'm taking
That alarm is Valaks. Stand up.
enough is enough.
Piss off, you little robot.
Get them. Fight your surrender. Down.
Let's do it.
Look for the hacker using that spider bot.
Never thought it'd be this.
Area's clear. Continuing the search.
It's clear. We're checking another area.
No. I don't want to know.
Shit, sucker.
Nothing to report. Checking elsewhere.
Clear.
Any sign of the target? Area clear. Not seeing anything here. Moving elsewhere. Area's clear. Continuing the search. Come out. Wherever you are.
Better check our next area.
Oh, I give up. Let's regroup.
What was that?
What did I do?
Hey, look over there.
No sense
What?
resisting.
Oh, man. I'm listening. I'm on your side. Just be cool. Can you at least tell me what it's about? Look, I didn't do anything.
Face forward. Hands behind your head. Taking you in.
Oh, come on. I didn't do...
Trip the alarm. I'll do a search.
Shit! Lock them down!
What set off the alarm? All clear. Returning to normal patrol.
Well, this went balls up.
Shit! They're gone! Call command!
This is bad. No.
Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTO...
Just listen. I was not very sure at first, but when I saw them save a lot of families from being targeted by Albion, it convinced me. I'm grateful someone is looking out for these families. This situation, I feel very much for. Please just listen.
Save the NHS!
We are willing to fight this.
This is over!
We have rights.
Mercenary rule!
We can't keep going on like this.
Your lies will be exposed.
Down with Albion!
You're not the army. You're not the police. What are you?
Albion out!
Potter!
Together
This
we
is
are
bollocks.
strong. Together we are strong. Don't let them turn
You sold us out!
That's how they win.
People are starving!
People are pissed.
Worthless!
Fake
This is
government.
important.
Fake government.
Thieves! Idiots!
Just listen.
Murderous thugs!
What's your problem?
Whatever!
We can't just keep going on like this.
Do you work?
report.
Fuck yeah.
That's it for Albion's automated armoured car assembly. Should kick this whole uprising into high gear. Bit more of that and this barrel will internally combust. No? Nothing on that? Well, I guess it's back to knob jokes then.
Auto drive now enabled. Data drive now disabled.
The job-killing AI's code blueprint has been packed up into a crate on site.
I guess it's time to fuck some shit up.
Bloody nuisance.
You found it, now find some way to destroy it.
Those who do not obey Albion orders are subject to arrest.
Come on, we don't need this right now. Question, why am I guarding a fucking crate?
That's why. Get back to work, okay?
Yes, I know. Shit. Security's shutting off.
Protest rallies. Disturbance detected. Beginning investigation. Citizens, if you see something,
Nothing out of the ordinary here.
patrol mode reinitiated. Investigation underway. Do not hesitate to report a crime.
Drone, stay here and watch the area.
illegal activities will all be prosecuted.
AI successfully murdered. Now get to safety and I'll send our friend the good news.
Let's find this wanker. Drone, perform a search. Suspect must have made off. faulty alarm.
Oi, you're definitely gonna want to take a seat for this. You weren't replaced by a human. They got fucking AI to do your job.
But hang on, really?
Yeah, the company behind this AI wanted to put thousands of people out of work. DedSec stopped that shit, though.
Thanks.
Hey, our squad always needs new blood. You in?
Thought you'd never ask.
to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London.
Here.
In theory, the AR reconstruction should allow me to use various sources of surveillance data to rebuild past events. Access a data relay, and I can scrape all the metadata for this area. That's it. Now, let's take this autocratic wet dream for a test drive.
Something over there.
CTOS AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
Oh my days, this kind of thing could help us out big time.
You're right. We definitely need this extremely cool thing I want for investigating Zero Day. Shit, for some reason I can't clone it to our servers. All right, access the network here and let's see if we can't find out where to nick one. Located the CTOS hub. Aha! The SIRS has deployed this technology at their HQ, and I've just nabbed their manual on how to set up the system. Now, Scarper, you can't steal their toy if they throw you in the gulag.
Is that even legal?
How are we supposed to get this AR stuff?
The program is hosted on a server that's on the roof of SIRS HQ. All you have to do is grab the whole thing, then take it to a few high-density locations so I could recalibrate it to the DedSet network and clone my own version.
Yeah, that's cool, but how am I supposed to get the server off the fucking roof?
We need to find someone with access to a cargo or construction drone that can fly it off of there. Perfect opportunity to recruit a heavy lifter to the cause, I'd say.
So what exactly makes someone a heavy lifter?
Well, let's put our thinking caps on, shall we? Now, who in London would have access to a construction drone? Could it be a construction worker?
Obviously, robot prick.
Not so hard, was it? There's an active construction yard nearby. I dare say you'll probably be able to find a construction worker to recruit there. Here's the coordinates.
They look promising.
Occupation? Check. Drone? Check. This could be the one. Oh, they have a beastly drone friend. I mean, the person looks efficient too.
They look promising.
Occupation? Check. Drone? Check. This could be the one.
You look like the sort who wants to make a difference.
Hang on, are you DedSec? If you are, I need help with something.
Maybe, if we're not too busy. What's up?
I did something really stupid. I needed money for a medical bill. This Klein Kelly guy says he'll give it to me. He seemed really nice. But now, they keep saying I have to pay more and more. Help me clear up my debt or I'm trapped.
Alright, I'll tell my crew.
Clan Kelly will bleed our new friend dry if we don't do something. This particular construction site is a money laundering front for a Kelly chapter out of Camden Market. Any record of the debt would be stored there.
Got it. Oh my days, look at this fucking setup. When did the Kellys get their shit together?
You're looking for a terminal or some kind of device that Clan Kelly would have stored the debt records on. Don't have the right tool for the job? You can exchange your gadget for a different one that's better suited to the situation.
What's your fucking problem? Oi, big man.
Listen, me no want no trouble.
You don't, do you? You're shit out of luck. You're on Clan Kelly turf now, alright? It's not the fucking nothing here. Piss off.
Excuse me. me. Bugger mode. Waste man.
I am out.
They could have taken him away.
While the drones observing your every move might make you feel like you're living in a city-shaped prison, what's bad news for society is good news for DedSec. You can hack those nosy little buggers and use them to scout ahead.
What was it?
Get moving. Go. Yo, drones, start searching.
Another area.
All clear here. I'm gonna check somewhere else.
Not here, moving on.
Clear. Moving along.
Piece of shit slipped away. Ending the search.
Oh!
Right, you can erase all record of their debt, putting our new friend back into the black and, more importantly, out of Clan Kelly's reach.
Sick.
Clear. I'll look somewhere else. What's next?
Hang on.
This box
Not
is
here,
clear.
moving on.
I'll keep
I
searching.
don't see shit. There's nothing in. I'll look this way. Nothing to see here.
I lost the shithead. Oh, I'm done looking.
asshole.
All clear here. I'm gonna check somewhere else.
Moving on.
So, search the area. Expanding the search. I will find bad guy.
Nothing yet. Move on. Not yet.
All good here so far.
Oh, this shit is not worth my time.
Hell was that?
This door's fucked, man. Fuck! How do I turn it off? Lock down this fucking bot.
Wasteman spied on us with his bot. Find him.
Clear. Nothing yet.
Moving on.
Drone, search the area.
Yeah, no one here, but I'll keep looking.
Nothing to see here. What's next?
Not here.
Move around.
Down.
I've got nothing. I'll try over there. Moving on. Go and have a butcher's. Go! I don't see shit. Not in here.
Search complete. Nobody's here.
Transfer complete.
We wiped your debt with the Kellys. They shouldn't be bothering you no more.
Oh, that is good news. Thank you. You know, everybody says DedSec are the bad guys, but I know the truth. You are the good guys.
Hey, our squad always needs new blood. You in?
Okay, yes, let's do it.
Nice. But it's missing something.
mouth, fucker. You're on San Kelly territory. All you're gonna find here is trouble, motherfucker. So get the fuck out.
Shit! That thing's unsafe!
Stay away from that drone.
Whether he's the most antisocial businessman in London, or he's a fucking hitman.
All persons are legally required to carry an optic device at all times. Failure to do so will result in prosecution.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me.
Building a resistance group requires operatives with specialized skills. Technical abilities, firearms handling, and physical training are all valuable. Bare-knuckle boxing rings are a good place to find people who are good at throwing punches, or taking them. By defeating each opponent in an arena, you'll have an opportunity to face its best fighter. Prove your physical superiority, and they may consider joining DedSec. I'm guessing that's some sort of primate society thing.
Yeah, personal space. Look it up. Oi, oi. You know this ain't some dance party, right? What? There's no guest DJ here tonight. You can't grab a drink and grind against a stranger. We're fighting here. Bare-knuckle boxing. No fucking kidding. Alright, what's your tone? Just making sure you weren't looking to go on the pool and then instead get your fucking face kicked in. You're welcome.
Just move.
Come right in, show's about to start. Watching at home, online, on the street. Are you here live to feel the heat, the sweat, the blood? Wherever you are, this is the most exciting thing you'll see all day.
Come on then.
A solid hit! That's the shit we like to see. Am I right, people, or what? Just like a proper live highlight reel. And that's a hit! One for the record books. Fucking wild blow! Oh my god! Almost knocked their teeth right out! Oh, they're gonna feel that hit in the morning if they wake up. I want to hear that energy, folks. I want to hear the love and the hate. Get hype. The fighters step into the limelight. Take a look at those faces.
You could be
Place your bets and strike the fuck it. Oh, it looked like it fucking hurt. Did you all see that monster hit on the stream? Fucking hell! Oh, shit! And that's a solid blow there. Well, that's what happens when you're shit. They're getting murdered in there. Oh, yes, knockdown! That was a lovely knockdown. We're back at it again, folks. The only game in town worth your time. Society's crumbling, institutions fumbling. Come and see a couple of fighters take it out on each other. Oh shit! Could that be the win right now? What? Get in there! An unbelievable blow! Don't know how anyone will come back from that. And down! Did you see all that on the live stream?
It's ridiculous.
Are you ready for a show? You're about to get a proper powerful show here, people. These are two of our boldest and wildest mates from way back. They know violence. I want to see that chat move and get this crowd loud.
You want to go? Oi, come here and show me what you got.
Oh my God! What absolutely disgusting! Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. Solid strike with a solid fire. Now that's entertainment. And one massive blow to our fighter. Oh shit! Could that be the win right now? Almost knocked their teeth right out!
Yeah, baby.
Well, this will make a good story.
Now look,
What's this?
sure. This aggro shit is just overcompensating. That's obvious.
Interesting.
That's fantastic.
Your henchmate. I think you got what it takes to save London.
Yo, you with DedSec? Oh, fucking brill. You know I could use your help. I need you to help me get back at the prick who fucked me over.
Nah, cuz DedSec don't play like that. We're not thugs for hire.
I'm no thug either. I'm a car thief, alright? I made my dosh lifting wheels for this pagan. I was nicking this Peng supercar, yeah? Next thing I know, I'm bleeding out and the boss man's got the whip. I survived and the pagan's driving around in that Peng whip. Look, I want you to steal it from him. Do me a solid and I'll repay you sometime.
Alright. Sounds like a right laugh.
Everybody run!
Clumsy prick.
DedSec restrictions have prompted Parliament to approve the use of lethal force for Albion contractors. CEO Nigel Cass had this to say.
DedSec terrorists will quickly find that Albion, unlike the police force of this city, is battle-tested and proven in the field.
The Prime Minister's office has called this shoot-to-kill mandate a drastic but necessary
All right.
measure to
Glad
make
you made
London
it.
safe.
Hey, here's your new gear.
So this is it, right? From now on, it's just DedSec. Forget everything about normal life.
Normal, fam. Feds have just said they can shoot us in the fucking streets.
Yeah, you're right. And I want to help to stop it, but I don't know if I can walk away from my life.
Flip that script, cuz. You ain't walking away. You're fighting to protect what you care about.
Okay. Okay. I'm ready.
Welcome to the Resistance.
Right. Welcome aboard, etc., etc. I'll give you the speech later. Right now, we need you and your big, strong drone friend to get on top of SIRS HQ and steal a server. Think you can handle that?
I'm going now.
Albion personnel are authorized to use force. Always comply promptly to instruction.
Coming up in today's episode of...
disassemble unlawful gatherings by any means necessary.
Whatever.
If I'd wanted to be harassed by an annoying buzzing thing, I'd put an apiary and punched a beehive. Don't let me beat you to death with a bloody cricket bat.
For safety, Albion drones outfitted with anti-riot equipment.
Okay, I'm here.
I'll highlight the server with the AR reconstruction software. It's out of reach, so you'll need to use a heavy cargo drone to steal it.
Okay, I have the server.
It is put into your vehicle now. Be careful while driving. You don't want to explode.
I get the feeling Bagley is a bad influence. Adios.
CTOS AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
This will do. Remain in the area until I've downloaded enough data to the server. Download complete. I need a wider sample of data, so I'm pushing you the coordinates to a new location. This is brilliant. Look at this. It's compiling data from the surveillance infrastructure. Nearby CTOS drones, civilian optics, CCTV, and then it assembles those scraps into what happened in this location 24 hours ago. Fantastic.
Auto drive now enabled. Auto drive now disabled.
CTOS AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
All right, scraping data from optics, CTOS cameras, microphones, laptops. Say, do you reckon SRS uses this to watch people shag? Fucking hell, do they use it for anything but watching people shag?
We've been busted, Bagley!
Well, shit, can you do anything to lose your new friends? Maybe invite them to a pottery night or overshare something personal. Whatever you do, just get to the last location in one piece.
Fuck's sake. Fine.
Transfer complete. I'm missing one last data set. Pushing you the coordinates to the location now.
CTOS-AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
Apprehend the suspect.
What the fuck do I do about these things?
Don't let the drones destroy the server before I'm done. Get out of the lorry and take care of them. Shoot them, throw rocks at them, destroy them psychologically with cyberbullying. Just keep them busy until the transfer's complete.
We are inbound. Stand by.
Alright, I've got it. Now, can't lug around this server forever. We should probably wipe our prints off it anyway.
Keep talking.
I'll overload the CPUs to cause a power spike and destroy the battery unit. The electromagnetic pulse should destroy both the server and the drones. So, you know, run! Well, that was fun, wasn't it? We pulled off a heist, made life a bit harder for the tyrants of the world, and most importantly, I got a new toy to play with. Now, run along back to the safe house. Sabine wants you and your new teammates for a briefing.
Absolutely not. Jesus. Don't do anything.
Get there!
Jesus Christ! Now, what are you going to do with that?
You're a mate. I think you got what it takes to save London.
And I was just thinking the same thing. I'm looking for someone who can get into difficult places. Is that you?
What, you planning to do some B&E?
I'm pushing you the location of a file that I need. You get it, and we talk.
No, I entirely understand.
Got to stop fucking clown. Don't be weird.
Yeah.
He got a bug up his ass or something.
I, for one, am intrigued by his mysterious aura, and I know literally everything, so that's saying something. I'll pass along the coordinates if you'd like to take on his request.
and welcome back to The Upload. Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as it
Auto drive now enabled.
London streets safe. Awaiting area crime
Auto drive now disabled.
coordinates point to a server in the vicinity. The file our friend was talking about must be stored on it.
Got it.
That's the target. Should be hackable.
What you got, Bagsy?
Another GPS location. Looks like our challenger is sending you on a scavenger hunt.
Interesting. Give me the location.
You're activated. Don't get killed.
Okay, but remember, this is what you wanted.
Not listening to me.
Shit, that drone's freaking out.
All clear for the time being.
You're joking.
This will be fantastic souvenir.
I could do a career in this, man. What the? Oi! Right. Rusty piece of junk. Depth of field.